Live from Chicago, this is News 3 Now's special coverage of the Democratic National Convention.
Right now, the DNC going out with a bang. This is as Kamala Harris accepts the Democratic Party's presidential nomination. Plus, we take a look behind the scenes at what the work that goes on to get things like this ready for the viewers at home. Good evening and thank you for joining us for the final night of the Democratic National Convention. Currently, we are having some technical difficulties for our live crew out at the Lincoln Park Zoo, Charlotte and Eric in Chicago. But the convention building was pretty riled up this week as Vice President Kamala Harris was getting ready to accept the party's nomination. Harris also making history tonight, becoming the first black woman and the first Asian American to lead the ticket of a major political party. Now, recent polling shows Harris entered the convention with a slight lead among registered voters nationwide. And Democrats are hoping to turn the swell of momentum this week into a movement that propels her into the Oval Office. And just minutes ago, the vice president took her first steps delivering her keynote speech to the American people. There, Harris shared her story and record, contrasting her vision with former President Trump's.
We are not going back to when Donald Trump tried to cut Social Security and Medicare. We are not going back to when he tried to get rid of the Affordable Care Act, when insurance companies could deny people with pre-existing conditions. We are not going to let him eliminate the Department of Education that funds our public schools. We are not going to let him end programs like Head Start that provide preschool and childcare for our children. America, we are not going back.
Now, each day at the convention, it has had a different theme. Today's was For Our Future. Patriotism, an overarching theme during Harris's speech. Now, we have team coverage more on today's events, including more on Harris. For now, let's head out to Brady Mallory, who's live at the United Center. Brady?
Well, all of those rumors about Beyonce being here, they were not true, actually, but if you listen to the crowd and all of that cheering, you wouldn't know, because they were here to see one person, that was Vice President Kamala Harris, accept her party's nomination for President of the United States. Now, she acknowledged right away that the last 4 weeks getting here, they were a whirlwind. But she didn't focus on that short time frame. Instead, she focused on the long time frame of her life and how every little bit of it, her career as a prosecutor and in politics, got her here to this moment for this historic night. Her catchphrase has been, "We're not going back." I heard the crowd chant it a lot, but she did start the night by looking back to the past. She thanked President Joe Biden, whom she served with, and she also thanked her parents. Her mom is no longer with us, and she said that she knows that her mom is smiling down as she accepted the nomination. Looking to the future, Harris made a lot of campaign promises, and she talked a lot about the issues that I was expecting her to talk about. She has promised to build up the economy. She called it creating an opportunity economy. She promised to restore reproductive rights for women, IVF. She also promised to broker a ceasefire deal with Gaza and Israel. And she also talked about the type of president that she wants to be moving forward should she be elected. Take a listen to her words from her speech tonight.
And I want you to know, I promise to be a president for all Americans. You can always trust me to put country above party and self, to hold sacred America's fundamental principles, from the rule of law to free and fair elections to the peaceful transfer of power.
And of course, she did bring up her opponent quite a bit. That would be former President Donald Trump. And she drew a lot of parallels from her time as a prosecutor to running against former President Trump. She talked a lot about prosecuting criminals. And of course, former President Trump is a convicted felon. That was a big theme here as she tried to convince voters to back her come November. Now listen, both conventions are now in the books. They are done, and now it's time for both candidates to hit the road and try to sell their vision for America to voters. They have about 74 days to do that, so time will tell to see where this election takes us. Again, this has been a whirlwind to get here. Just 4 weeks ago, we did not expect Vice President Kamala Harris to be at the top of the ticket, and then here we are now. So, reporting live from the Democratic National Convention in Chicago, I'm Brady Mallory.
A whirlwind indeed. Thank you, Brady. Now, while Harris was the keynote speaker, there were several others, including remarks from some of the party's most prominent battleground state Democrats. Among those speakers, Wisconsin's very own Senator Tammy Baldwin. For now, on what more she said, let's check in with political reporter Will Keneally, who's down on the United Center floor. Will, what do you have for us?
Hey, Jalen. Yeah, that's right. Senator Baldwin speaking earlier today among the Wisconsinites speaking at the DNC this week, underscoring the importance of Wisconsin to this fall's election, especially that presidential election. Now, she spoke tonight. She shared a story of her mother struggling with addiction and being raised by her grandparents. Now, she said, speaking from that experience of taking care of her grandparents, she says Democrats' record on Medicare sets them apart from Trump.
About cutting Social Security and Medicare while giving a huge new tax break to billionaires and corporations? Well, Kamala Harris is not going to let that happen. We Democrats, we honor our elders and ask the wealthiest to pay their fair share. Wisconsin's state motto is forward, and my friends, that's where we're headed.
Now, Baldwin is, as we mentioned before, running for re-election this fall in that key swing state of Wisconsin. Now, it's part of why we're seeing all those elements of Wisconsin at the DNC as we compare that to 4 years ago, 2020, where the DNC would have been in Milwaukee if not for COVID. And I'm going to step out of the shot real quick if Lance can show you. We're still seeing some confetti fall here. And earlier, just a few minutes ago, as we heard Kamala Harris accept the nomination, one of the longest applause lines that we'd heard all week. You can hear behind me some balloons popping as people try and make their way out of the United Center here. But for now, we'll send it back to you guys. Reporting from the United Center floor, Will Keneally, News 3 Now.
Will, thank you. And as he just mentioned, Wisconsin continuing to be a major battleground state, that being further highlighted by Vice President Harris's visit along with her running mate, Tim Walz. Now we're looking to see how locals in Madison are turning into the final day of the DNC. On Madison's east side, we go live now with Merrill Hubbard, who was at a Democratic watch party, getting people's reaction on the Vice President Harris's speech. Merrill, what do you have for us?
Yeah, Jalen, I'm at one out of over 40 watch parties that are happening in Wisconsin tonight. A lot of them are wrapping up. Most of the watch partiers were up there, crammed all in the rafter and just were cheering the entire time. But I actually talked to one watch partier that was kind of off to the side, soaking in the speech on her own. Her name is Vaishali, and we're going to talk to her now. Hey, Vaishali, how are you doing?
Very well, thanks.
So will you tell me a little bit of your reaction to Kamala Harris's speech today?
Sure. I think she did an excellent job. You know, what really struck me was she addressed a very wide variety of constituents as well as topics, but I felt that the overarching message that came through loud and clear to me was more on an emotional level, which was I could feel palpably that protector instinct that all of her family and friends had been talking about. She was talking about helping people, and combined with the ferocity of purpose, that practical, just we're going to fight, not against each other, but for something better.
Vaishali, thank you so much for talking with me and sticking around today. I know that you were sitting kind of by yourself or with your family instead of being up in the rafter, and you could really tell that you were soaking it in. I'm going to go back to you, Jalen. I know that this is the end of the DNC, but it certainly isn't the end of our political coverage at Channel 3. We are launching Three for the People, and I know you guys are going to talk more about that. But for now, reporting live. Oh, there she is. Reporting live in Madison, Merrill Hubbard, News 3 Now.
Merrill, thank you. There are 15,000 members of the media in Chicago for the DNC to bring you all the latest information. It's part of the production that makes a convention. Our Ellie La Liberté breaks down how the behind the scenes can impact you at home.
Tens of millions of people have tuned in each night to the DNC, and it's similar to what we saw last month at the RNC. But to get all of the sights and sounds of what's going on here in this arena to your living room, there's a lot of work that goes into it. CBS Chief White House correspondent Nancy Cordes has reported from several major political events, including this convention. This production behind the scenes isn't just for the delegates, but for the people back home. Take, for example, Vice President Kamala Harris's speech.
Some people will see her live. Some people will see a clip of her tomorrow. Some people will see a clip of her over the weekend.
No matter how you watch, on air, online, or on social media, the goal remains the same.
It is all very, very carefully orchestrated, because what they're trying to do is paint a picture for the American people of a party that is united.
And people are tuning in to see it. According to Nielsen Media Research, in 2020, the DNC saw almost 25 million viewers on the final night of the convention. On the other side that year, there were almost 24 million on the fourth night of the RNC. But the DNC has branched out past TV, credentialing social media influencers to help market the message.
They have to make sure that voters are seeing clips from these speeches the next day and the day after that and the day after that. So social media is a really important component of the planning for this convention.
As for the RNC, Nielsen Media Research estimates roughly 28 million people tuned in to watch Donald Trump speak in Milwaukee on the fourth night. And we're keeping an eye out for those viewership numbers for the fourth night here in Chicago. But for now, reporting in the United Center, Ellie LaLiberte, News 3 Now.
Ellie, thank you. Now, the stage is clear and people are filing out, but election season is far from over. We are just 75 days away from Election Day, and tonight, News 3 Now is making a commitment to you, the viewers at home. Tonight, we are launching a new election brand, 3 for the People. Our mission is simple: cut through the noise and distractions of election season and bring you local reporting from local journalists that you trust. We are going to focus on doing 3 things for you and your family. Now, we promise to cover local issues that matter to you, and we promise to be your advocates for accurate information, and we promise to be innovative and interesting. Right now, you can head to channel3000.com and check out our new 3 for the People page, where you will find interactive tools like a voter guide, along with all of our stories from both the RNC and the DNC from this summer. If you've already downloaded our app, a push alert should be waiting for you on your home screen. Now, we are also going to be launching a weekly focus on different issues this election season, topics that include abortion, the freedom to choose, crime, the economy, and education. Those stories will air on our weekly newscasts at 6 and 10 p.m. We hope to continue for you to choose News 3 Now, both on air and online, for all of your election coverage. And still ahead on News 3 Now at 10, more coverage from the Democratic National Convention as Night 4 closes out. And after the break, we take a look at what's next for both political parties now that their conventions are ended.
Get the best mattress deals we have ever offered during the Mattress Marathon at Ashley. Save up to $1,200 instantly on Beautyrest Black, plus free delivery and special holiday financing for 5 years. Only at Ashley.
Let's do this.
Introducing Chevy's best lineup of SUVs ever. The rugged, always-ready Trailblazer, the first ever Traverse Z71, and the Chevy Trax, starting at $21,495. When it's your time to shine, Chevy's got you.
Get 1.9% financing on select popular 2024 Chevy SUVs when you finance with GM Financial. Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in Wisconsin.
Everyone deserves the fastest, most reliable internet speeds, regardless of where they live. That's why Spectrum offers the fastest speeds in more neighborhoods than any other provider. So switch to Spectrum and get a powerful network that connects nearly 500 million devices.
Switch to Spectrum Internet for only $49.99 a month with free modem, no data caps, and no contracts. Plus, save with our 2-year price guarantee when you level up to a gig. Call 1-855-735-1336 or scan to call.
With Spectrum Internet, you can power all of your devices to enjoy streaming, video chatting, and gaming with the most reliable internet speeds. wireless. Get a powerful network that millions of customers rely on. I rely on Spectrum Internet. You should too.
Switch to Spectrum Internet for only $49.99 a month with 99.9% network reliability, no added taxes or hidden fees, and no contracts. Plus, save with our 2-year price guarantee. Call 1-855-735-1336.
Call now.
Drugs, gangs, and crime are flooding into our communities. But instead of getting tough on the border, Senator Tammy Baldwin supported amnesty for 11 million illegal immigrants, including convicted criminals. Criminals like an illegal immigrant with multiple DUI charges who went on to kill a Wisconsin father of 3 while driving drunk again. Tell Senator Tammy Baldwin no amnesty for illegal immigrants, especially criminals. Vote to secure the border.
It's Hy-Vee's snack sale this Friday through Sunday. Cheez-It crackers, just $1.99. Hy-Vee yogurt, just 29 cents. Basket and bushel green seedless grapes, just 99 cents a pound. On the border, tortilla chips, queso, or guacamole salsa, just $1.98 each. Intimates Little Bites, just $1.99. And Goldfish crackers, just $1.48. Save in-store and online. Friday through Sunday, only at Hy-Vee.
Have you been holding off on your appliance purchase? Wait no longer. Labor Day savings start now at Furniture and Appliance Mart. Get up to $3,000 in rebates on top appliance brands and special financing for 60 months at Furniture and Appliance Mart inside Ashley.
On the Jennifer Hudson Show, Miss Reba McEntire! The queen of country music is back. Hey, so there will be singing, plus the incredible Dr. Mahalia A. Hines.
On the next Jennifer Hudson Show at 3. You're watching News 3 Now at 10. Moving forward.
The Democratic National Convention is now all wrapped up. Vice President Kamala Harris earlier tonight accepting the Democratic Party's presidential nomination. Now, we've heard a lot from Democrats this week. With that, let's head back to the United Center where our Braden Ross got reaction from the other side of the aisle. Braden, what do you have for us?
Hi, Jalen. I'm here with Republican strategist Bill McCoshen. So you watched this speech from just down the road here. Give me initial thoughts, initial reactions. What did you think Kamala did well, and what did she need to change?
Listen, I think when we talked earlier today, I said I was a little nervous about the energy and the vibe this week here in Chicago. I don't think Kamala Harris met the moment tonight. I think it was long on Trump bashing, short on substance. She spent more time talking about the John Lewis Voting Rights Act than she did about how people are going to pay for rent, gas, or groceries. And I think that's what voters were looking for tonight. I think we got a real race. I don't think this was the speech she was hoping for. Tomorrow starts the real race. Trump's going to be endorsed by RFK Jr., and I think for the next 75 days, we're going to see a lot of these people in Wisconsin.
One of the more interesting moments tonight is we saw a former Republican Congressman, Adam Kinzinger, come out and speak about why Republicans should vote for the Democratic ticket this year. Are you nervous about that? What did you make of that?
I don't, because Kinzinger and Trump have been battling for the last 4 years. That's not new. He's from this area. He represented just north of here in Congress. So that wasn't a surprise, and I don't think he's going to move any Republicans or independents.
Bill, thank you so much. We will send it back to you, Jalen.
All right, Braden, thank you. Well, now that both the RNC and DNCs are all wrapped up, what comes next? Our Maddie Hines just set out to answer this question. Maddie, what more can you add to this?
Yeah, Jalen, well, one thing is for sure, just because these conventions are now over does not mean that the campaigns are slowing down anytime soon. Now, the energy here in the United Center is exactly that momentum and aggression with which the Harris campaign is moving. Harris herself mentioning now on stage that her late entry to the race, those unexpected steps that brought her to this moment. So for us here in swing state Wisconsin, we can safely expect the race to only speed up.
I think we're going to see a lot more of Vice President Harris and future Vice President Walz. I think we'll see second spouses. I think we're going to see a parade of amazing surrogates coming through our state.
Ben Wickler is the chairman of the Democratic Party of Wisconsin. We caught up with him today just before tonight's program began about what our pivotal state should expect over the next 75 days.
If you don't fight in Wisconsin, you're not serious about winning the election. And I know that this is a campaign that's very, very serious.
Even during her own convention in Chicago, Kamala Harris crossing that state line to hold a rally in Milwaukee.
Because this ticket knows the road to the White House goes through Wisconsin.
On that road, Milwaukee, Eau Claire, Kenosha, and our very own Madison. We can expect to see those continuous Badger State rallies leading up to Election Day.
It's also the state that tipped both the 2016 and the 2020 presidential elections. It's the state that has the most close elections of any state in America. 4 of the last 6 presidential elections coming down to less than 1 percentage point.
Reaching Wisconsin voters won't only come in the form of visits. On social media, on debate stages, and on just about any platform possible, expect candidates to tackle issues Wisconsinites are most divided on. Reproductive freedoms, prescription drug costs and accessibility, and of course, the economy.
At the Democratic National Convention.
We'll bring you complete coverage of the election every step of the way. Reporting live on the floor of the United Center, I'm Maddie Heimsch, News 3 Now.
Sounds good, Maddie. Thank you. We've gotten pretty lucky this week with some of the nicest weather we've seen in quite some time, but we could see some rain starting tomorrow. Here's meteorologist Blaze Keller with a look at the first wind forecast. Blaze?
That's right. A couple isolated showers, maybe a thunderstorm or two, but we're also focusing on the heat and humidity. As of this evening, still keeping Monday in that alert day, but we may add Tuesday if models continue to keep the especially high dew points over parts of southern Wisconsin. It's there on Monday as our heat index values climb into those triple digits, if not even warmer, into those 110 temperature range there towards Prairie du Chien. And if those high dew points stick around into Tuesday, we could, again, very much expect those high dew points along with those southerly winds and the sunshine and the overall high temperatures, making for a very hot start to the final full week of August. Moderate, major, and even extreme risk from heat in parts of Grant County. That's where you find that little pocket of extreme risk from heat. Make sure that you are staying cool and hydrated as we kick off our next work week, and make sure that you're limiting your time and your pet's time outdoors, and of course checking in on the elderly. Tonight, though, we're hanging out in the low to mid 50s, mild with a few clouds here and there. It's quiet on radar 3000. Light southerly winds are going to bump us back up into those upper 70s to low 80s for your Friday, as temperatures sit in the upper 50s to mid 60s at this hour. All right, your 7 and your 10-day forecast, that alert day on Monday, but again, we could add Tuesday into that. If you don't like the heat and humidity, there is some relief starting as early as Thursday next week.
And coming up in sports, high school football is back. Hawanaki kicked off a new era looking exactly how they always do. That's next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message.
There's a side of Eric Hovde you might not know. In his 20s, he was diagnosed with MS, and in that moment, his life and priorities changed. Eric started Hovde Homes. Hovde Homes rescue abandoned children from sex trafficking and slavery. For children who never experienced real love, Hovde Homes offer the love, care, and support they need to heal. MS changed Eric's life, and thousands of children are alive today because of it.
If your windows are leaky and drafty, it's possible they weren't installed properly. Many installers lack proper training, and shoddy installation leaves your home vulnerable to extreme weather. At Next Door and Window, we're reinventing window installation. Our approach ensures your windows are sealed tight and energy efficient. And your windows and doors will be installed by certified experts who treat your home as if it was their own. When you demand tomorrow's comfort, Next delivers. Visit nextwindow.com to learn more.
Drive into summer with the rugged Honda Ridgeline, Passport, and Pilot. Summer is for exploring, so get outdoors, kick up some dust, get muddy, or just find that perfect campsite. All from Honda, the 2024 Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com Best Value brand. So act now to get an offer you'll love. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or hurry into the Honda Summer Event.
Are you ready to make junk disappear?
I am so looking forward to this. We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
We'll be there before you hang up the phone.
Right now with Papa Murphy's, we've got a great deal.
Which means I make more great pizza.
Get select large thin crust pizzas for $8.99. Papa Murphy's. We make great pizza so you can make the pizza great.
Such a great deal.
$8.99. That is a great deal.
Experience Overture's 24-25 Broadway season. See the best of Broadway. Subscribe at overture.org.
This famous wood fence from the show Home Improvement had to have boards replaced 13 times in only 9 years. Our fences outlast wood 3 to 1 and are all backed by our extensive lifetime warranty. This month, save $1,000 on your project. Visit the website or call the number for your new fence today.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
The alarming spike in inflation soaring to its highest level in nearly 40 years.
That is called Bidenomics.
Gas prices rose again today, reaching a new all-time high.
We're still dealing with inflation, and we've got super high interest rates at the same time.
Bidenomics is working.
2/3 of Americans are just struggling to make ends meet.
And this comes after Friday's jobs report showing a spike in unemployment.
And we are very proud of Bidenomics.
Kelly Sheffield might have outdid himself when putting together Wisconsin's non-conference schedule because it's, in a word, brutal. The gauntlet begins at the First Serve Showcase with number 6 Louisville. Then it's on to top-ranked Texas and number 5 Stanford. But it's all part of his plan, and his Badgers know playing tough competition only makes this team, who is also really good, more dangerous down the road.
We talk a lot about treating every game the same. You know, everyone we got to play like it's big. You know, we want to play our best volleyball all the time. And these preseason games, you know, they're definitely challenging us. This might be one of the toughest, I think, non-conference schedules we might have had. But it's just to prepare us.
There's a new era underway for Waunakee football. Chris Graverson is now the man leading the Warriors after longtime legendary head coach Pat Rice called it a career after last year's runner-up finish in Division II. Waunakee opening up with La Crosse Central, a team they beat by 42 in Level 2 of the playoffs last season. They got off to a good start. Sully Skadden plunges in from 4 yards out to make it 7-0 Warriors. Then on their second drive of the game, they're going to air it out. Vance Johnson sets his feet and chucks it deep to Cooper Johannes. And that's a tutty. Warriors roll with a 38-0 win. Memorial looking to start their season off 1-0, taking on Milwaukee Riverside. They got a guy by the name of Cam Parker, and that guy can scoot. He hits the spin cycle, then stiff arms the guy to the ground. 32 yards later, and a high five for good measure. He's in for 6. Spartans go up 14-0. They were far from done on the scoreboard. Next drive, it's their captain, Levi Duggan, diving in for another touchdown. All Memorial, they win 61-6. We're back after this.
The Make It Ford Summer Sales Event is on. Amazing offers and a great selection of Ford vehicles, like the Built Wild Bronco family, with a deal you just can't miss. Your biggest adventures are waiting. So make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. I want that. Make it a lease on a new Ford Bronco Sport for $299 a month for 36 months. Only at your local Wisconsin Ford dealer.
This is you. And you are why we do what we do. Each and every one of you are wonderful, amazing people. So we'll treat you that way on your journey of trusted care. Because the way you feel matters. Unity Point Health Meritor, a partner of UW Health. Know how much you matter to this world.
Some lucky fan will win 4 Packers season tickets for 1 year, all because of Packers scratch games from the Wisconsin Lottery.
But who will it be?
This could be Debbie's year.
That looks like someone who could win up to $50,000 in instant cash prizes.
But don't count out Tim.
Maybe he'll win one of the MVP tailgate experiences.
Then there's Raymond.
Legend.
4 Packers season tickets for 1 year could be his.
Or yours.
Ticket prices range from $1 to $10, available at Wisconsin Lottery retailers.
When a crane collapsed during construction of a Major League sports stadium, 3 workers lost their lives. Their widows called us. When maintenance workers were permanently injured by an industrial accident at a public utilities power plant, the 7 injured workers called us. when a factory exploded, injuring dozens of workers. 18 victims, including all 3 families of men who lost their lives, called us. Because Wisconsinites know who to call when it's a must-win scenario. They call Habish, Habish & Rotier. National reputation, hometown service.
Before she was the most liberal U.S. Senator, Kamala Harris was the liberal San Francisco prosecutor, the most progressive in all of California. She let an MS-13 gang member go, who then murdered a father and his 2 sons. She agreed to release another felon, who then committed murder. And Kamala even protected illegal alien drug dealers so they could escape deportation. Kamala Harris, a dangerous San Francisco liberal. Make America Great Again, Inc. is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Free for the people, only on News 3 Now.
Thank you for staying with us. As I mentioned at the top of the show, we were having some technical difficulties back out in the Windy City where Charlotte and Eric were. But just as this election season has been so far, it's unprecedented. But we thank you guys for staying with us throughout the week of the DNC. Thank you to our field crews. Thank you to our anchors out there. Thank you to the reporters. And I want to thank everybody back here in studio, our producers, our production team, everybody in Master Control. Putting these things on, these productions, are so incredibly tough. I want to thank our team for all the hard work. And I want to thank you, the viewers at home, for staying with us for the DNC. We'll see you back here for 3 for the People.